Hey, Brian, how's it going today? I'm doing just great.
Going good. I appreciate you having me on. I'm happy to come here and talk to anybody about their credit and credit repair and how it works and how much it costs.
Great. Well, let me start by just introducing you, Brian. Brian is a good friend of mine and has been doing credit repair for how long?
I've been doing it full time for 2.5 years. I was doing
I
it
see.
part time for about a year and a half before that. And on January 1st of 2018, I gave up real estate and
Right.
been doing this full time ever since.
Great. So Brian and I know each other from the real estate business from a long time ago, and I do know that you're providing a great service for people. And so those of you that are listening today to our conversation, I want to tell you that um, many of you may be talking about or thinking about buying a home in the future, and why credit repair exists. Sometimes people get into a place in life where they just don't think there's any hope about buying a home. And my supposition is, why are you paying your landlord's rent mortgage through your rent? Because you indeed are paying the landlord's rent. I mean, mortgage. You're paying the real landlord's taxes on the property, and so that's why home ownership is so important to everybody out there. And many people get to a place where, I've just messed my credit up so bad, I don't know if I'll ever buy a home. Um, so that's why I have you on today, Brian. So I'm going to just kind of hand it off to you a little bit. And if you'll just tell the folks out there, I know it's important to get their credit straight, and we could be in 3, 6 months, a year. I'll let you talk about that. But what's the number one reason that people are calling you to get credit repair when
Well,
they call
you know
you?
what? The number one reason is people want to buy houses. I would dare say 95% of the people that call me have gone to a mortgage company, applied for a mortgage, got turned down, and then they want to know what to do about their credit. So, number one is definitely people want to buy houses. That's it for sure.
Right. Right. And so so hopefully this video will help people out. Uh, Give Brian a courtesy call first before you try to go apply for a mortgage. Let's see what your credit looks like first
Yep,
before you do that, right? I mean, that would,
absolutely.
we're almost saying you're almost the first step, because we're not saying necessarily that you have to say, hey, Brian, I need credit repair. Maybe you don't, but at least it's worth that one shot, that one call to you, right?
Yes, it
And
is. You know what, Patrick?
yeah,
That's a good way to start right there. Um, let me go back just back up 2 seconds here. Like I
sure.
was I was a realtor for 15 years. I worked with
Hmm.
Patrick. Like Patrick said, we're good friends. Been friends for a long time. I was a full-time realtor for 15 years. Uh, got over into this business because honestly, I want people to achieve the American dream of owning a house, plain and simple. And I want people to feel financial freedom, which is difficult to achieve, can be difficult to achieve in Lakeland. But checking your credit before you go and start looking for a house is the best thing to do. And let me just say this: you can go check Credit Karma. That's fine. Use Credit Karma if you want to. But Patrick is going to understand what I'm about to say. Credit Karma is the Zillow of the credit world. Okay. Credit Karma, like when you go and look at your Credit Karma score, you might see a score of 620, and then you walk in and sit down with the mortgage company and they pull up your actual FICO score and you got a score of 520. That score can be 100 points off. So what I would say is if you're going to check your score, you can use Credit Karma. You can use Credit Karma, but if you really want to know what your score is, you need to go to one of the real credit monitoring places, like go to Experian, go to TransUnion, go to Identity IQ, go to myfico.com, go to identityclub.com. There are several good ones out there that will give you a really good picture of your credit and a more accurate look at what your credit score is.
Right. And most people don't know what FICO is. It's called Fair Isaac Corporation, and
That's
and they were the very first. They pretty much invented the credit score, so
They
that
did.
banks and others could pull somebody's financial worthiness from some place, and so it became the industry standard. and it still is the industry
That's
standard, and
correct.
it'll pull all of your, there are three separate
Credit bureaus.
credit bureaus. Thank you. I was looking for bureaus
Yeah,
throughout the United
Equifax,
States.
Experian, TransUnion.
There you go. So educating the public here, when you hear those names, your FICO score is going to pull all three of those and make your FICO score. That's how it's made up. Not to be confused with a beacon
That's
score,
correct.
which is what car dealers use, and they only use the bureau that you're in for credit score.
That's
In
correct.
this case, they pull all three in the FICO score, and they'll give you a number that is accurate today.
Yeah, and Patrick, to follow up on that, everybody has about 65 different credit scores. Every human being in the United States has about 65 different credit scores. And the reason
Oh
why
my
is
gosh.
because there are 3 different bureaus. They all calculate it differently.
Yeah.
But beyond that, the way your credit score is calculated for a credit card, buying a car, and buying a home are all different. It's all different.
Right.
The credit score that's pulled up for all 3 of those situations is all 3 going to be different. The toughest one, obviously, is for the mortgage.
Right. Yeah, and that makes perfect sense why it is, because they're going to lend you the most money that most anybody else
Correct.
is ever going to lend you.
Correct.
So being that such a big purchase. So well, let's get into your company and how it works and operates and kind of what the cost is. People are always nervous. Oh my gosh, it cost me an arm and a leg to get my credit repaired.
That's a fair statement. I'll explain to you, how we do it and what we do, and I'll go into the pricing in detail. Okay.
Sure.
I think the one thing I would want to say is having bad credit is way, way, way more expensive than paying somebody to fix your credit. Let me just bottom line it. Man, bad credit is going to cost you many, many, many thousands of dollars over the course of your lifetime. It just is. You pay higher insurance rates on your car. You're going to pay highest interest rates when you buy a car or a house. You're going to pay higher interest rates on your credit cards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Everything in life is more expensive when you have bad credit. So, our process is we use basically what we call a factual dispute methodology, where what we are doing is we are disputing the accuracy of the information that is in your credit file. That is what we're doing. They are not allowed to report inaccurate information. It's a proven fact that about 70% of Americans have inaccuracies in their credit reports. So way more than half have inaccuracies, and the Fair Credit Reporting Act says that that's not legal. So we are disputing derogatory information on people's credit reports based on the accuracy of the information in each account. Let me be very clear. We never, ever claim fraud or identity theft unless there actually is fraud and identity theft. And when I say that you actually are, I mean, you need to have a police report for us to use that as an excuse to dispute items on your credit report. So factual dispute methodology is, like I say, we are disputing the accuracy of the information. We use software to do a forensic examination and audit of your entire credit picture. The software can find way more information than the human eye can find. Let's just bottom line it. That's why we use software to do it. It's very good. Using factual dispute methodology is a very effective way to get derogatory information off of your credit report. And so what I would say is like, I'm going to use a medical collection as an example. You can have a collection that actually belongs to you, that it is yours. We're not going to claim fraud, and you can still get it deleted from your credit report using a factual dispute methodology. That's what we do. The dispute process, it can take 3 months. It can take a year. It basically, what I'll just say is that the more derogatory information that you have on your credit report, the longer it takes to clean it up. That's just common sense. And again, I'll tell you something else too, is that the credit bureaus, everybody knows that they have 30 days to respond to a dispute. Let's explain, what does that 30 days actually mean? 30 days means they have 30 days to respond. Response can be a postcard that comes back to you that says, we got your dispute and we're looking into it. So it does not mean that they have to send back and say, we have conducted an investigation and, you know, everything is
Right.
done in your account. The 30-day response does not mean that. It doesn't mean that. And something else that's currently in the CARES Act that is in effect is the 30-day window has been extended to 45 because credit
Oh.
bureaus had to send everybody home to work from home. It has interrupted their operations. So right now, I don't know how long this is going to last. There is a delay in responses from the credit bureaus, and legally so. They're believe me, they are using those 45 days to their advantage.
Yeah.
So
And they still might not have enough people to respond in time.
that's correct.
That's true. It works both ways.
Something, you know, Patrick, that you and I had talked about is like when you send off your first dispute, and let's say in 29 days you get your postcard back that says, we got your dispute, we're looking into it, and then 30 days after that, you get the letter back that says the information in your account has been verified. And I will tell you that, okay, most people, when they get that letter that says we verified your account, they throw it in the garbage and they go, oh, well, they verified everything in my account, and so I'm just gonna have to keep renting for the rest of my life. And they don't keep trying. And the truth is, when they send back, and all this is legal by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay, this dispute process is kind of a cat and mouse game
Cat and
between
mouse.
us and them. It's a cat and mouse game. So they send back a letter that says it was verified. And I can tell you what verification means by the Fair Credit Reporting Act is that when they first get that dispute and they go out and look at your credit file, if they can, on that account, if they can find a match between your name and an address, that constitutes verification, that account is yours. And that's correct. I saw the look on your face. You're right. Like, you should be surprised by that.
I am. Yeah.
And you should be surprised by that, but that constitutes verification. That's really where credit repair begins, is because when they send back that letter that says everything is verified, that's when we start digging into the facts of everything that's in that account, and we start nitpicking them on the details. And then we have a letter from them that says, hey, you said this was verified, and we can prove that there's inaccuracies in this account. So, you know, your letter, you lied. That's part of the strength of credit repair, is that you've got to know how to do that. And you've got to know the right wording to put into your letters, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes it might take 9 or 10 times to dispute an account before you actually get it off of your credit report. So credit repair is not super fast. It's like I said, it can take 3 months to 12 months. And let me just touch on that too, Patrick, because I know for a fact there are people that advertise on the internet that say, if you send us $500, we can clean up everything on your credit report in 30 days.
No way.
And you know what? They can do it. They just can't do it legally. They're breaking the law when they do it. What they do is they do what they call a credit sweep. Okay. And so what they do is they dispute everything on that credit report as fraud or identity theft. And so once that gets disputed that way, they have to take it off the credit report until it's proven otherwise. Well, it only takes them about 30 days to prove otherwise, because you can't come up with a police report if you don't have one. So, but what that does is it'll clean somebody's credit for about 30 to 60 days, and then everything's coming back on. But if you're going to go apply for a mortgage during those 30 to 60 days, you know, your credit's going to show clean for you. The problem with that is number one, it's against the law to do that.
Right.
State that right up front. That is against the law. You cannot. Yeah. And then the other thing is
well, Brian, it's not only against the law; it's mortgage fraud.
It's mortgage fraud. I was going to say, and right before you go to closing, guess what's going to happen? They're going to pull your credit again.
Right.
And if it has been a long closing, you know, if it's been a 90, 120 day closing, all that stuff's going to be back on your credit again. So at any rate, the credit repair process takes time. I would say that if you're going to get into it, you need to be patient with it. But you know what? If you don't start one day, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months are going to go past, and you're going to be in the same boat that you're in. So the fact that it takes time is not a reason not to do it.
I gotcha. Yeah. So well, then that's the obvious question. Well, look, Brian, I just want to buy a house, and I only need I really only need about 40 or 50 points to have a good interest rate and save me some money. Am I going to be married to you forever? If I, once I get to the 40, can I quit once I've got it to where I want it, or do I just have to continue with you until I get it all?
No. That's a fair question. Our contract is month to month, so you can drop out anytime you want.
I see. Okay.
Anytime you
Gotcha.
want, month to month. It's month to month
Gotcha.
contract.
Well,
Yeah.
I would, but I would encourage people, I'm not saying that just to say, hey, just to buy a house and you can quit anytime. I would encourage people because of what you said in the beginning. Even if you got it to the point where you're going to buy a house, continue on, because the cost savings in there, like you said, are your
And the interest.
home insurance, interest rate, home insurance, your car insurance, anything that you're going to pay for that's heavy duty like that, they're pulling credit. And sometimes they don't, they may not pull credit. Like my insurance agent asked me that question a long time ago. Do you want me to pull your credit or not? I said, sure, go ahead. Is it going to help me? He said, yeah, it's going to help you. So obviously it's going to help me if I have a good credit score. so, so anyway, back in the day, I said, sure. Well, I still have the same fellow, David Rutherford over at Barfield Insurance. Great guy, does great insurance for people. Anyway, so David, so if you only raise it a little bit enough to buy for a house, you still have that problem that if you're not maximizing your credit rating, you're still paying.
Patrick, that's a good point. If somebody comes to me with a 540 and they're just trying to get to 580, to hit that threshold to go buy a house,
Mm-hmm.
their interest rate could be from 4% up to 7% based on that. And if you wait until you're above 640, there's cutoffs in mortgages. You already know this. 580, 620, but 640 is another cutoff when interest rates go down.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you've got time to wait until your credit score hits that 640 mark over the course of a 30-year mortgage, I'm telling you, is many, many, many thousands of dollars that you save.
The difference between 3% and 6% is somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 or $500 a month, depending on the home price, obviously. But
Right.
But in the average home, 200,000, 225,000, that 3% different is $400 or $500. It's literally that much money.
Yeah, that's $6,000 a year.
Uh,
I mean,
that's
over 10 years, there's $60,000 out the window.
Right. So compound the 6,000 if you're investing that money for the next 20 years. Right. Hello. So yeah. So don't pay the bank, pay yourself. Anyway, good information. Go ahead.
So you want me to talk about my pricing?
Sure, absolutely. We've got a few minutes.
Yeah, let's. We use a pay-per-delete pricing model. I can tell you, like the big national credit repair companies, they use a monthly plan. You pay every month. You pay every month whether you're getting results or not. I mean, I just signed up somebody yesterday who left a big national company, came to us, and she was paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 a month for credit repair and wasn't getting any results. So our plan is different. In the beginning, we will be happy to review if you have a credit report that you already have, particularly if you've already been to a mortgage company and they've already pulled your credit and they have a credit report they can send to us. We are happy to look at your credit report and review it for free. That's free to review your credit report. If you decide after a conversation with us, after we have reviewed your credit report, that you want to sign up, then we do the software credit audit. I'm going to tell you, the credit audit is way, way, way more detailed than me sitting at my desk with a paper credit report in my hands. It's because software's doing it. It's digging into the details. A credit audit and a software enrollment fee is $197. So it's $197 to get started, to get that audit and get us started. Now, after that, you don't pay us again until we start deleting derogatory accounts. So let's say it takes us 90 days to start deletions. Well, you don't pay us anything for 90 days. Those 3 months while we're working for you are basically free. If we don't delete any derogatory accounts in 6 months, we will return your credit audit fee back to you. So that $197, if we don't produce results in 6 months, we'll give it back to you. So it's basically basically risk-free. Now let's talk about how much you have to pay when we start deleting stuff, because obviously we wouldn't make that guarantee if we didn't think we were going to be successful. The payments are, it's $50 per deletion per bureau. So if you had, if you've got 2 collection accounts and it's reporting on 2 bureaus, that's 6 derogatory marks on your credit report, and we get all 6 of those deleted, you would have a balance of $300, $50 times 6, $300 you would owe us. But on that, we do not throw you an invoice for $300. We break those payments up into $75 increments. So if we deleted 6 accounts and you owed us $300, we would bill you $75 a month for 4 months until the $300 is paid. We do that because we know people don't have $500,000 laying around the bank to pay us. And again, our ultimate goal is for people to achieve the American dream and own a house.
Right.
We're not trying to rake you over the coals. We're not trying to get rich off of you.
Sure.
We're trying to help you have a better life and make it easy for you to hire us to do that.
Yeah, and take advantage of all the benefits we were talking about earlier. There's to having a good credit score. There are very good benefits to having a good credit score.
Yeah.
So anyway, tell me this. How do you what's your website? What's a good link to your website? It
is www.citizenscreditsolutions.com.
All righty, www.creditsolutions.com. Very good. And do you have an 800 number?
I do have an 800
number. I know we put your cell number up there and you don't ever answer it because I personally know that. That's a fact. So anyway.
Let me give you my 800 number.
There you go.
Because listen, I got my phone right here and I got it on silent.
That's right. I know.
I'm not answering my phone while I'm talking to you. That's why I have a 1-800 number.
There you go.
1-800 number is 888-610-7366.
Say it one more time.
888-610-7366.
7366. All right, Brian. Well, that's great. That's great information. I'm glad I had you on today. And I know everybody that's watching is going to have great benefit from it today. And obviously, hopefully we can get you some referrals because I know you do the same for me as well. And any of you that are out there now that are looking to get your credit repaired so I can help you buy a house, absolutely you need to contact Brian and always bookmark his page, bookmark my page. You can go to my fan page, Anything Real Estate, Facebook, and also on my personal page as well. Everybody's welcome there. Everyone is welcome.
Everybody.
There. So that's right. Everybody. So anyway,
Patrick, I have a very interactive website. There's all kinds of good information on there.
Yes, there is.
I also have a free ebook that's 89 pages long. It talks about credit repair, and it's free. You don't pay anything. Ask me, I'll send it to you.
Okay, do that. Can you send it to my Google? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, I'd love to have that. All right, my friend. Well, you have a great rest of the week and a great weekend, and blessings to you and your family, Brian. I appreciate you being on today, and we look forward to. I look forward to seeing you around when we're not doing COVID.
Yeah, and we can get together. That'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Well, adios. Take care.
All right, Patrick.
All right. Bye-bye.